What makes a clone special? I feel like that's a very important question for this video, so we're going to get into it. 15 years ago, there was a small little cartoon called Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which expanded on the Star Wars universe and the time between Episode 2 Attack of the Clones and Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. This handful of years was compounded into 7 individual seasons of one television show that would probably become one of the greatest series of Star Wars canon to ever be created by any individual. Thank you, Dave Filoni. And throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars, D. Bradley Baker voiced so many individual clones that it's almost impossible to count every single one of them unless you're using a list from Wikipedia. And D. Bradley Baker is not new to the scene when it comes to voice acting. I mean, the guy literally voices Squilliam Fancy Son, for God's sake. He is legendary beyond belief. But over the course of the entirety of the Clone Wars, there was one individual that he voiced that immediately became a fan favorite in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That being Captain Rex. As if almost overnight, Captain Rex became a fan favorite. He was regarded as one of the most popular clones in the entirety of the Clone Wars TV show. He made appearances in Ahsoka. He was in the Bad Batch. He was in video games, he's in comics, cosplays are made of him, like 501st cosplayers cosplay him all the time. And I'm also pretty sure somebody tried to retcon that scene in Return of the Jedi where that guy with a white beard was there pointing a laser pistol or a laser blaster at a stormtrooper. Apparently that's Rex. That's just Rex now. Yeah, that's just... Rex, why are you here? You're in the Battle of Endor. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in a retirement home. Come on, man. But along with voicing Captain Rex, D. Bradley Baker also voices Cody, Wolf, Gregor, Oppo, Boyle. Look, the point of this video is that each and every one of these very specific clones are all individuals in their own certain way. Take the 501st. Every single one of these clones is their own individual. Every single one. Again, we have the famed Captain Rex, one of the most beloved clones in the entirety of the Star Wars universe. But it's so much more than Rex. You have Commander Oppo, you have Jesse, you have Echo, you have Fives, Fox, Hardcase, Mixer, Tup. The list goes on for these clone troopers. Every single one of them being loyal and absolute. So loyal, in fact, that whenever a part of the 501st Legion became the 332nd Division, led under now Commander Rex and Ahsoka Tano, each and every one of them painted their helmets orange and blue to signify Ahsoka's face paint. And it is absolutely gorgeous. The fact that these clones were so individualized that they painted their helmets to resemble the cultural facial tattoos, and marked them specifically under her command is so special and so individual that it is beyond comprehension. And in the very first episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, where Yoda specifically sits with members of his own clone legion, where Yoda literally goes out of his way to teach the clones that they are all individuals with their own minds, their own personalities, their own everything. These men may be clones, but they are their own person. And since they are their own person, they are, by all standards, individuals within an army of people that look exactly like each other.
See you, eyes can. In the Force, very different each one of you are. Grease, always focused on the enemy, are you? For inspiration, look to yourself and those beside you. Jack, concerned about weapons you are. Weapons do not win battles. Your mind, powerful it is. Outthink the droids, you can. Thyre, rush not into fights. Long is the war. Only by surviving it will you prevail. Yes. Clones you may be, but the Force resides in all life forms. Use it you can to quiet your mind.
And immediately after this scene, the state is clear. All the clones are individuals. They have their own opinions. They have their own way of thinking. They have their own strategies. They have their own intelligence. They have their own ability to be people. Captain Rex, Commander Gregor, Commander Wolf, Commander Cody, Oppo, Jesse, Hardcase, Dogma. All of these individuals are true individuals, which makes it weird that they are not considered people by the Republic. To the Republic, the clones are effectively slaves. They are people who fight for the Republic, but they are considered property because they are clones, which makes the Republic even worse now if you consider everything that has been discussed so far in this video. A group of free-thinking individuals who have their own personalities, their own independency, their own freedom, their own ability to do whatever they want, are somehow considered property by a Republic that does not believe in slavery, which is the most ass-backwards thing I could ever imagine hearing. What makes the Republic better than the Mid-Rim? Or not the Mid-Rim, the Outer Rim. In Tatooine, Cato Nemoidia, Nar Shaddaa, any of these planets where the Republic law is not considered to be set in stone. These places that allow slavery, allow trafficking, allow everything to happen within the confines of this Republic, and yet they continue to do it throughout the entirety of not just the Republic, but also the Empire for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And also keep in mind, these individuals are not only situated to be property of the Republic, they are meant to fight and die on the battlefield. They were bred, born, raised, indoctrinated, and essentially made to fight. That is why this sergeant guy over here, in that one episode where he spies on Cody and Anakin, Rex and Obi-Wan, he effectively spies on them, destroys most of the base's equipment because he wants his brothers to be free from the grip of the Republic. He understands what's going on, but yet he goes about it in the worst way because he literally kills his own brothers in arms to set them free from a military or a government that wants to keep them as property. And one of the worst things about this situation is that in clone time, Captain Rex at the end of the story, whenever he's at the Battle of Endor, he would be about 70 years old. Because the first generation of clones was created in 32 BBY. Clones age double at the normal rate of humans would. So, 32 BBY plus 4 additional years to take it to the Battle of Endor. So 32 plus 4 is 36. So you make him 74 years old. If not maybe 70, because he says he's not a first-generation clone, but he's just around the same age as Commander Cody. So Rex is effectively about 72 to 70 years old at the tail end of the Galactic Civil War, where he fought on Endor. Which is insane for me to think about, because you literally have a 70-year-old man fighting an empire that he used to be a part of back whenever it was the Galactic Republic. And look, this is basically the best way I can end this video. The clone troopers have no rights. They have no rights, they have no ability to protect themselves, they have no representation in the Senate, despite the fact that they make up most of, if not all of the majority, of the galactic military. They sacrificed their lives that were designed specifically by the Kamino cloners to fight for the Republic in a war that they do not understand. They actively go out of their way to save civilians of the Republic and the Confederacy, to teach them how to fight their own battles, and at the end of the day, the clones got nothing. They were slaves of a Republic that doesn't believe in slavery. They had no rights within the Senate. They had no equal opportunity to be able to do anything outside of the war. And even after the war, when they were still fighting for the Empire, many clones decided that it was in their best interest to bail, because they were quickly being snuffed out and they were quickly being replaced by average people throughout the entirety of the Republic. And that is effectively the problem with everything having to go on with clones. A group of individuals who were literally raised from birth to fight for a republic that they did not understand, to fight in a war that didn't happen yet, that would eventually happen, and who were forced to fight even though it meant that at the end of the day, their lives would be brushed aside for a new group of clones every time, and it would eventually be snuffed out into oblivion. That is what being a clone in the Star Wars universe is. Death and the eventuality of waiting for death.